men, we're men in tights. We roam around the forest looking for fights. We're men in tights.
Warning. I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
Or else we'll put out your lights.
And now, back to the Epstein documents. Someone I haven't really touched on is Been Dubin. And Virginia Giuffre accused Been Dubin of having sex with her when she was underage. But that's not all. Been Dubin used to date Bianca Jagger, actually around 1984, I believe. And did you know before he was married to Eva Anderson, he was married to an Elizabeth Saltzman, an associate fashion editor of Vogue magazine, and Glenn Russell Dubin, a vice president of E.F. Hutton and Company, and partner and co-founder of Dubin and Swyka Investment Consultants, both in New York, were married yesterday at the Puck Building in New York by Rabbi Dennis Math. At first, I thought she may have been related to the Saltzmans connected to Nixium, but her name is Saltzman with a T in their Saltzman, so I guess it's not as big a deal as I originally thought. One of Epstein's more puzzling relationships was the one he had with Been Dubin, the billionaire hedge fund manager, and his wife, Dr. Eva Anderson Dubin, the founder of the Dubin Breast Center, of the Tisch Cancer Institute, at the Mount Sinai Medical Center. Could one of Manhattan's most prominent power couples know more about the Epstein mystery? The three were close. After all, Anderson Dubin, a former Miss Sweden, dated Epstein for years before she and Dubin married in 1994.
The first finalist is Miss Sweden. Miss Sweden, will you begin? Choose a question from this bowl, and I shall read it to you. Your question is, Miss Universe visits many different countries all over the world. If you were chosen as Miss Universe, which country would you most like to see for the first time, and why?
I think I would like to go to Australia. That's a country that's very far from Sweden, and I read a lot about Australia, and it seemed to be very nice culture and very nice nature, and then speak English, so it's easy to communicate with them.
Thank you, Miss Sweden.
Even after Epstein's conviction in 2008, the couple stayed in contact with a registered sex offender, inviting him to Thanksgiving dinner at their home in Palm Beach the following year. Anderson Dubin also wrote an email to Epstein's probation officer asserting that she was 100% comfortable with Jeffrey Epstein around my children, who were all then minors. Epstein and Dubin had business ties as well. Epstein introduced Dubin to Jess Staley, then a senior executive at J.P. Morgan Chase & Company, and now the CEO of Barclays, the big British bank. After J.P. Morgan Chase bought control of Highbridge Capital, Dubin's hedge fund, in stages starting in 2004, Epstein reportedly received a $15 million fee. Dubin also directed some of Epstein's money, for which Epstein was a fiduciary, to at least two hedge fund managers, Dan Zwirn and Joseph Kuznanen, who once worked at Highbridge before starting their own firms. Been Dubin introduced me to Epstein as a new manager that he was familiar with and thought highly of.
Over the past decade, Glenn and Eva Dubin have shown incredible vision and have had an extremely positive impact on Stony Brook athletics. Their thoughtful and strategic gifts make it possible for all Stony Brook athletes to excel on the field. They have a unique understanding of what our athletes need to succeed, and this new indoor training facility will help our students take that next step to the next level. Now the Dubins are inspiring others to share that impact as we get ready to start raising money to build a new world-class indoor training facility that will help all our athletes thrive and succeed.
The relationship between Epstein and Dubin also ventured into more controversial realms. According to Giuffre's May 26 deposition, Dubin was the first powerful person that Maxwell sent her to have sex with after her training. The Dubins categorically deny Giuffre's allegations. Well, of course they do. So we're to believe that Epstein's the only one. Everybody else denies.
Will Glenn Russell Dubin please come forward as his degree is conferred by State University trustee Kari Stoller? Glenn, you have demonstrated that hard work and education is the key to success. As an active Stony Brook University alumnus and intelligent investor with philanthropic vision, your generosity has touched the lives of so many. From being a founding member of the Robin Hood Foundation to serving as a board member of the Museum of Modern Art and funding both the Dubin Breast Center at Mount Sinai Medical Center and the Dubin Family Athletic Performance Center to Stony Brook University Departments of Athletics, you have tirelessly supported righteous endeavors. You are an inspiration, and you embody the ideals of a true Stony Brook Seawolf. For your commitment to improving the lives of others and efforts to enhance Stony Brook University, the State University of New York is proud to bestow upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Letters.
President Stanley, members of the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York, and my friend, Athletic Director Jim Fiore, it's a great honor for me to be back at Stony Brook and receive this Doctorate of Letters. And for those classmates and professors who remember me here from the late 1970s, I'm sure it's equally a great surprise. I know you must be asking that very same question. In the aftermath of the Great Recession and the resounding political message of the Occupy Wall Street movement, why on earth is the school giving this honorary doctorate to a hedge fund guy? You're not alone. My wife, Eva, spent 8 grueling years, studying to get her medical degree from UCLA School of Medicine. And on the car ride out here, she too asked the question, "Darling, why are you getting a doctorate?" To be honest, I think she's just jealous that there'll now be 2 Dr. Dubins in the family. But I can only surmise why I'm being given this honor, but I bet it has something to do with the fact that there are a lot of similarities between you and me.
Nah, I think it's all the money you gave him. Did you hear that guy say Robin Hood Foundation? Founded in 1988, Robin Hood was conceived by hedge fund manager Paul Tudor Jones and co-founded with Peter Borish and Glenn Dubin. The foundation combines investment principles and philanthropy to assist programs that target poverty in New York City. In 2006, the board of directors included such names as Jeffrey Immelt, Diane Sawyer, Harvey Weinstein, Marie Josie Kravis, Lloyd Blankfein of Goldman Sachs, Richard S. Fulg Jr., formerly of Lehman Brothers, Glenn Dubin of Highbridge Capital, Marion Wright Edelman, and actress Gwyneth Paltrow. Funding for the organization's activities comes from donations and fundraising efforts. In 2009, George Soros gave the foundation a $50 million contribution. Oh shit. Something about philanthropist. It's like a shield. In Rinaldo Rizzo's June 26 deposition, Rizzo and his wife, Deborah, worked for the Dubins, primarily as their full-time chefs, but they did other work for the Dubins too, such as tagging their luggage for the private jet trips, and generally being helpful with travel to and between the Dubins' various homes in Palm Beach, Westchester County, Gothenburg, Sweden, Manhattan, and Sprawling Ranch in Gunnison, Colorado. According to the deposition, Rizzo and his wife were preparing dinner for the Dubins in the kitchen of one of their homes when Anderson Dubin brought in a 15-year-old Swedish girl who had accompanied Epstein and Maxwell on this visit to the Dubins' home. Rizzo testified that in late 2004 or early 2005, Anderson Dubin told the unnamed girl to sit on a bar stool in the kitchen. She seemed to be distraught and upset, Rizzo said, and she was shaking. She didn't want to talk. Her head was down, and Rizzo thought she was on the verge of crying. According to the deposition, the girl told him and his wife that she worked for Epstein as his executive personal assistant. And when Rizzo expressed shock that such a young girl could have that job, she just breaks down hysterically, Rizzo stated. Rizzo stated that the girl told him she was involved in some forced sexual activity at Epstein's island and was told by Maxwell and Epstein not to discuss it. Rizzo said he and his wife were dumbfounded. We hear people approach and she just shuts up, Rizzo testified. Eva comes in and tells her that she will be working for Eva in the city as a nanny. But about a month later, according to Rizzo, the Dubins, along with the girl and the Rizzos, were on Dubin's private jet back to Sweden, and the girl was returned home. We flew to Sweden, Rizzo said in his deposition. We stopped at an airport we didn't usually stop at, and she got off the plane. The Rizzos ended up quitting because of those events, he said in his deposition. My wife and I had discussed those incidents, and this last one was just, we couldn't deal with it, he said. Dubin and his family traveled with Epstein on his private jet. Flight records show that Dubin and his family occasionally flew on Epstein's planes, often between Palm Beach and New York, where they both had homes. Maxwell also hitched a ride on Dubin's plane twice alongside Dubin's children on that same route, once in 2004 and again in 2010, after Epstein was a convicted sex offender. Jim Dowd, who piloted jets for both Dubin and Epstein, said the men were friends and liked vacationing together. The private jets, Dowd said, gave the two men away to avoid the delays and tedium of commercial travel. The only thing money can't buy is time, he explained. These planes are time machines. They save a lot of time. From Harvard Kennedy School, Glenn Dubin and Company. Glenn Dubin is a principal of Dubin and Company, a private investment company based in New York. Mr. Dubin co-founded Hybrid Capital Management, an alternative asset management company, in 1992. Mr. Dubin is a founder and former board chair of the Robin Hood Foundation, a philanthropic organization in New York that applies investment principles to charitable giving. He's a board member of Mount Sinai Medical Center and the Museum of Modern Art, and is a member of the Dean's Executive Committee of the Harvard Kennedy School.
Well, I think the Kennedy School is a unique place. First of all, it believes, as I do, that leadership is a skill that can be taught and enhanced. And the faculty here and the student body are absolutely dedicated to improving their leadership skills to have a positive impact on society. Whether somebody's going to go into politics, whether somebody's going to go into the not-for-profit world, really what they're trying to do is enhance their leadership skills so that they can make a positive impact on society. Something that's been very rewarding for me and for my family. We've gotten involved with the fellows. We've tried to help them. We've tried to be mentors to them. My children have been exposed to these really extraordinary individuals that are now devoting their lives to make a positive impact on society. So we've gotten, if I may say, a return on our investment immediately.
Another Harvard connection. Fucking stoned.
I got